Okay, we're back with Pat. We're in his home, and sometimes the telephone rings, and when it does, we have to stop. So we were on Manatee Lane. We had our own showroom, and now we're being encroached upon. Tell us.
Well, there's just like California, it's just started blossoming outwards, you know, from our shop and or my shop, and a couple people. Nobody had a shop right there at that time, but there was other shops in the area. I don't remember who they were. And the second time now, when I opened a shop there, I did see some people, like the guy that owned Rainbow Surfboards.
Doug Wright?
Doug Wright. Come down, and I glassed his boards, and I glassed...
He's got to be a kid back.
Yeah, he was a kid,
Okay.
yeah. But he did a nice job, and I glassed his boards, and I glassed... guy had a shop up there where the Cleaners, they used to call it the Cleaners. It's been a surf shop, or closed for ever since like 25 years ago.
I'm drawing a blank with that. What town?
Cocoa Beach, that's South Cocoa Beach, right across from Roy's place, but farther down.
Oh, way down there.
Tom
Okay.
Nielsen has it.
Okay, yeah. The surf spot
that,
formerly
yeah.
known as Magoo's.
Was it called
That's what it was
Magoo's?
called when I was in high school. It was Magoo's.
Oh, and when you were probably in grade school, it was called the Cleaners, because there was a cleaner
That
there.
building was a cleaning place.
Yeah.
No, that's right. It was like a 60-minute cleaners or something.
Yeah. Well, they had, but I don't know. I never had to. I wasn't in business.
Well, I think that was actually the name of the place.
Oh, could have been, but we called it the Cleaners, and I did surf there quite a bit.
Okay, yeah. Just the next thing north of picnic tables.
No, yes.
Yeah, just
Yes.
north of it.
You know what? I've been here 50 years, and I still get the coast mixed up, north, south. I mean, because.
It's all the same beach. It's all the same wave. It doesn't. It's the very best surf in Florida always just happens to be right out in front of the parking lot. Amazing how that works.
I think you're right.
I'm
What's that guy's name? He was a real good surfer. I can't think of his name. Starts with a P.
talk around it.
Uh,
Where was he? What did he do? What board?
he
did
was
he
he was making boards, and he was a great surfer. Really a great surfer.
Florida guy or California guy?
Florida guy. Pedro.
Petrillo?
No, Petrillo's
That's
from
California.
Yeah, but he came out here all the way to Texas. He didn't. He had a shop in Texas.
Okay, all right. I'm drawing a blank on who you're trying to...
You would know him. God darn it. His girlfriend worked with me at the surf at the time. Or a little bit later, not at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did his boards, and I did some boards for Doug and a couple other people.
Okay, so you're making real boards for real people, but
Yeah.
now the competition's coming on.
Well, that was part of the competition, part of the
Yeah.
encroachment of
Yeah.
the change. I mean, which was inevitable. I knew that from California.
It's all elbows, baby.
Yeah,
It's all elbows.
you know, it was none of that bothered me. I didn't care, you know.
You have the right attitude.
Yeah.
Proper, tabling, and Codgin were all kind of showing up at the same time back then. Codgin and tabling may have been a year behind Proper, if I recall. I'm not sure.
And Bruce was.
Bruce Faluzzi!
He was there at the same time as Proper. He was not a flashy surfer, but he was a good surfer, real good surfer.
Remember a guy named Artie Stiers?
Oh yeah.
Artie surfed very well, but that's a sad story how that turned out.
He was Kenny Cohen's best friend at one time going through school, and
Wow, that's way back.
and I made all of Artie's boards, and he was taking.
Artie was riding your boards.
Yeah. He was taking beach boards back to Hawaii and telling me how good they surf, but I think Artie was so far into his acid trips that I don't even think he needed to take acid anymore.
Things turned out poorly for Artie.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't end well at all.
Started calling himself Moriarty.
Not good.
No, not good.
Not good.
And he was a sweetheart of a guy, you know. I mean, he was easy to get along with.
Remember him surfing in South Patrick Shores where I grew up a couple of times, and I was just like, who is
Oh,
he?
he was,
Whoa,
he was
that
great.
guy.
He was great.
But he never really, Proper was promoting Proper, and Tabling was promoting Tabling, and Cotton
Right.
and all of that was going on.
And Claudie at the time was probably one of the smoothest surfers around.
Maybe ever.
Yeah, he was very stylish. No, I think Tommy McRoberts was more stylish.
All right.
But Claudie was as stylish as you get, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes you think that works against these people because people look at him and, oh, he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, Claudie was excellent.
Yeah. So, you've got a shop, you're set up, and now the whole world is jumping on the bandwagon. And what's next for Pat O'Hara?
Well, I got as close to a real job as I could. I became a bartender.
Back then was when that started, the bartender?
It started pretty much. Well, wait a second. I guess I got to go back to where I opened my shop in downtown Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
That showroom, and I shaped in there. I had one room I shaped in.
Is that the one right next to where Lynn's?
Roberto. Yeah, it
Roberto's
used to be
now?
Lynn's. I'm glad there's hardly anybody knows Lynn's anymore.
That's right. I'm dating myself.
Yes. Lynn's. And people go, Lynn's? Where?
What's that? We won't even talk about the Grand Falloon, which goes way back. But okay, you've got the shop in that was the neatest little place.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh, it was really nice, and I did well there. Selling boards was just hard for me. I felt like a used car salesman.
It's a slimy enterprise.
Anyway, I was good at it. I knew where I was reeling people. It's
A
scary.
slimy way
It's
to
scary.
be.
It's scary.
If the world worked correctly, a fine product would just simply
You
take
would
care
think.
of itself.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Nothing of the
No,
sort happens.
no.
Yeah.
It's like what you said about telling people that don't surf about surfing. You can't change what that is, what selling surfboards is.
Yeah, but it's awful. It makes you feel unclean.
Oh, and I actually had somebody say, "You sound like a used car salesman."
Oh, yeah.
And I think and I already decided to leave, but it took me about a year to leave, and I had fun there. I had a good time.
That was the neatest setup.
We had so much fun. Me and Danny and John Fetty and Danny Dawson, and so we had a bus bench right out there, right in front of my house, almost built for us. You know, we'd sit out there and whatever.
Had it made.
Yeah, we pretty much owned the town back then.
Talk about some of the good days surfing back then and where at.
Oh, well, I surfed when I had my shop down there. I surfed in front of the place then, which was called something else. I mean, it was called the place, but now it's become.
What street are we on?
We're on the ocean there.
Minuteman?
Yeah,
Okay, so
Coconuts.
where the Beach Shack and Coconuts is now. Okay.
Yeah, and there was Fudd Puckers before
Yeah,
that.
and it was the Thirsty Turtle
Thirsty
and some other
Turtle.
stuff. Okay.
But the first place it was called The Place. And I
Okay.
worked for John Baker. He owned it, and I worked there for.
So you were tending bar and selling surfboards.
Yeah, making
Okay.
surfboards.
Making surfboards,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then I took off for. I sold my shop to Jacobs, and
Bingo!
oddly enough, Ricky came back out here to be the salesperson for.
The Jacobs guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's uncanny because I bought a Jacobs surfboard from that shop.
Well, it had to be Ricky
And
unless
Lance Carson model I bought.
he had Donnie Bowen working in there. Well, me and Donnie got along famously, but
Bought that right off the rack. It wasn't a custom made or anything.
well, sometimes you can go up to a board on the rack and you pick it up and feel it, and you know it's just right.
That was a great
You know,
board.
yeah.
And I only had it for about 2 months and I got stolen off my foot.
Really?
Yeah. That was my last proper longboard for a while. Things got shorter.
Well, me and Ricky years ago, we had, got 2 boards stolen. We left them in the car when I was staying at his place, and went back out the next morning. They were gone. So Craig gave us 2 more boards. We put them in the car thinking that we're going to watch them this time.
Don't tell me you fell asleep.
Oh yeah, we both fell asleep. But the boards didn't get taken that night. Probably they knew it was a setup.
Setup.
Yeah. Yeah, which it was, but we didn't work at it that well.
Setup didn't quite turn.
No.
All right, okay. So you're here. You got a neat gig going. You're surfing right at the end of the street at Minuteman. Nice days.
Right, nice days. Yeah.
Clean Cocoa Beach.
And one day, you remember when those fishtails were really big? I mean, turning so hard at the bottom that the tail of your fin came up over your head almost, you know.
I remember just hard as you could possibly jam a bottom turn.
Yep.
Which I still love.
I can't do it, but I do remember that. And
they're fun to watch.
we were all good at it, and there were people up at the place.
Okay, we got Layla showing up with Hondo the doggy.
Hondo, it's all yours, Layla.
Thanks. Come on. Come on. Let's go.
Hey, buddy.
You're a sweetie.
He says
Bless his heart.
Come on.
he don't like to go. He wants to talk to everybody.
Oh, I don't get to talk to the doggy. Okay, this is how it works when you interview.
I'll never
Pat
forget
Sumner.
that day. It was just great. You know, it was great.
One of those perfect peely days.
Perfect peely days, and we were all doing hard bottom turns and a lot of fishtails. And
Yeah. Did you ever surf Patrick Pier at all back then?
oh, I got a story about that one. Not the Patrick Pier, but I got out of the water that day, and I went back to the shop and was shaping.
Okay.
I'm not shaping, selling. It was a weekend, and this guy came in with his girlfriend, and they're looking at boards, and they look at that board on the ground, and he goes, "Whose board is that?" I said, "That's mine." He says, "Were you using it today?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "No, you weren't. Somebody else was." What are you gonna do?
Oh!
It's like being somebody. I had a guy at the pier call me, get up behind me, and he called me, "Get out of my way, you kook!" And I just fell off the back. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Fight with some guy? I'm not a kook.
Oh yeah. How do you even?
You don't
address
even.
it?
You don't.
You let
And
those people roll.
this guy from Orlando or wherever the fuck he was from.
Yeah.
He finally stood up, and I was a kook.
And that's it's worse now than it ever was
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
They don't have any way of judging what they're doing.
No.
They think they're right there with
Yeah.
the rest of us. So good times in Cocoa Beach.
Oh, really
Making
good
the board,
times.
selling the board, riding the waves, hanging out.
And Patrick Pier, like you said, it was only half a pier by the time we got here.
Okay, the middle of the pier had already been eroded
Yeah,
away.
so it was me and Walter Duke and Danny, and somebody else was with us. All four of us were surfing, and so we got out of the water and went up on the pier, and Duke was still out, and this huge shark came through down there, and we all yelled, "Duke, look out, there's a shark," and he fell off right on the shark.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't think he ever surfed there again. He got out, luckily he got away from it, but I mean, we probably shouldn't have said anything.
You'd have been better off.
Yeah. We didn't know that though.
That was a good wave on North Swells. That
Yeah.
was the go-to North Swell spot.
Yeah.
back then.
Was it?
Yeah, so
I-
that's what I remember it as.
Yeah, you probably do, but that was a few years later than I'd surfed it.
Well, I don't know.
The pier was probably still there, but it went down in a hurricane. Didn't it go down in a big...
That pier was built, then the end got knocked off, and they rebuilt the end a little higher and a little heavier, so the end didn't really match the regular pier, and then the middle of the pier went away. But all through that time, there was a nice left that broke away from the pier, backwards to what a normal pier would do on North Swells.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. We surfed the south side of it when we were there.
Oh,
Whether or not it was the best side to be on, I don't know.
on
And
overhead north.
I only remember surfing it a couple times, a handful of times at the most, and it was gone then.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
I mean,
fun
totally
spot.
gone. From during one of the hurricanes. It just
Yeah, after a while,
Yeah.
that was the end of that.
Yeah, when the middle went away, I kind of remember that part.
Okay, yeah.
That you couldn't get out to the end of it. Yeah. And yeah, it was probably a good break. We didn't get to surf it that much to know.
And of course, that's before Sebastian Inlet, before they put the jetty extension on the inlet, so there really wasn't much of a wave there.
Where?
It's Sebastian.
Oh, I don't remember a wave there.
No,
I do.
there wasn't.
Oh,
There really wasn't a wave
no,
there.
that brought the wave in, huh?
Yeah, that jetty extension, that changed everything, like 68 or 69. So
Well, one of the places, we went all the way to Sebastian Inlet to surf and then to see about surfing. And it was just starting to get dark. We went across the bridge and we were driving, it was like cracking eggs, and it was crabs. I mean,
the land crabs,
they
yeah!
were everywhere. The
People
whole
don't believe
road,
those stories.
the whole road was
It was
crabs.
just hundreds of thousands.
We were afraid to get out of the car.
Yeah.
And then we were also afraid that,
Land
shit,
crabs.
they're going to pop the tires and we're going to have to,
Big claw on
Oh,
those things.
big.
A serious piece of, yeah.
And it seemed like, as far as you could see, they come out there and sit.
Certain
warm
times of the
themselves.
year,
Yeah.
those guys would, yeah.
And we turned around and went, I mean, it really scared us. I never saw that many crabs. I knew they could eat you if they got.
Yeah, if you were.
Yeah. Oh, they will eat you.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, slowly.
We got. Yeah.
Probably doesn't add to the
We
experience.
got out of that. Yeah. And then every time I told somebody that story, they go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, yeah. The land crabs back. So you left and went back to California.
No, I went to Barbados.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
I thought it was a great idea. I
Ah.
planned on staying there, I guess, for a while.
I've never been to Barbados, but I know a lot of people.
Oh, it's
have.
beautiful. It is really beautiful. I never surfed Bathsheba. I went there with a couple Australians that wanted to surf it.
Now that's Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, and they call it Bathsheba too.
That's the town, the little
Yeah.
district. Yeah, okay.
And they also call it Bashawa or whatever. That's a very.
I don't know the lingo. I mean, where did you surf in Barbados?
I surfed. It's called the Caribbean Coast, or no, it has a different name, but it had great waves.
The northwest side where the wind's offshore?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice rights?
Nice rights. A place called
Yeah.
Garrison, which was where the police people were housed. They had like bunks or something like that.
Of course, this is way back. It's probably
Yeah,
different now.
and I surfed inside the bay around the Garrison, where they call it Hilton Breakman. So I surfed Hilton Break.
So you've caught really good waves in
Oh,
Barbados.
I did. I caught.
Perfect?
Yeah, I caught Crab Hill. I surfed Crab Hill, which me and my brother were there up in the. This was the second time I was there, because I went by myself the first time. So the second time, my brother and Tuffy, another friend of mine from California, went, and we're up at Crab Hill. We'd been up there for about a week, and Dennis wanted to stay there. And we were arguing and shit. And I didn't want to go out at Crab Hill because it was big and ugly and
Windy?
pretty windy. Oh yeah, it was a big
good.
chop
No
wave.
good.
No. And I'm arguing with him, let's go in town, and it's 3-4 foot, it's perfect, you know. And we're arguing and shit like that. I don't want to surf here. And all of a sudden, this huge monkey jumps out of one tree and lands on another. And I turn around and said, but it's not that. Look at that right. And if you've ever been there, you got to go down the hill to get to the water. I don't know how we just slid down the hill.
Oh, yeah. Cliff
Yeah.
faces, yeah, that kind of stuff.
And we were in the water before I couldn't
Before
believe.
the monkeys could get
Yeah.
you. Because they were coming.
It wasn't like he was huge, but he looked huge to
He
me.
was big enough.
And we went out and surfed out there, and there was a guy there, and I cannot think of his name now, but he was from here, and his parents were subsidizing him so he didn't have to go to Vietnam and stay.
Oh, that's scary stuff.
Yeah, he
Pretty
was
scary.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that, and I'm glad I don't remember
no,
his
that whole
name.
thing was psychotic. Don't even get me started on that.
No, that's just
Nuts. Nuts. Yeah.
we were there as a police force first, and then we became.
McNamara and all those
Yeah.
politics. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Now back then, there couldn't have been too many people surfing in Barbados.
There really wasn't. There was probably a handful of guys that had boards, maybe 12, And I surfed at in the off a Hilton break. There's another break that's a little farther down, and there's a place that made hamburgers and sold bonk spearmint.
Nice combo there.
Oh yeah, so
Clean
I'd surf there
Caribbean waves.
till I couldn't see anymore. I mean, too dark to see.
Oh man.
And it was a place where the kids played in the shower that was in the water, and it was just beautiful.
Idyllic.
I mean, and then I'd get out, put my board in the sand there, up about a half a block away, and go in and have a couple of their burgers and
This
some.
is very good. You've done all right for yourself.
Yeah, that was great.
You've done-
It was great fun.
And this is perfect warm water Caribbean, clear, clean, peeling, nobody around.
Yeah.
You suck.
No, and I stayed 3-4 months.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now was this on saved money or were you?
Yeah, well, sold money. I sold my shop and
Okay.
everything. I took a brand new slick board that
Okay.
was just absolutely beautiful. Didn't touch the water till I got to Barbados.
Wow. Did you fly down?
Yeah,
Okay, so the board was okay on the airplane.
it was, yeah.
Okay.
And,
You stayed there 6 months?
no, 3 to 4
3
months, yeah.
Okay. That had to be in the
Twice,
wintertime. You were in
twice.
North Swells.
Yeah, it was wintertime, and there was another, a place called Paradise Beach where I surfed at about, I would say like 4 foot, perfect.
Nice
perfect,
size.
yeah. And it was a left, it was going into the jetty.
The wrong way left.
And as the time, but I was surfing so many hours, it was all fun for me. I could pretty much do anything I wanted,
Yeah.
And I was, towards the end of the day, there was just me and this one body surfer out there, a black guy, that was, and the stories that you hear, that black people can't.
That is so.
I know, but
Get
that-
me.
I
The
didn't
first
know.
crew I ever surfed with was all black kids.
Really?
Here in
Cool.
Florida, and nobody believes that story.
No,
Nobody.
I believe you. I believe you. But because I surfed with a black kid out in California, and he was from San Diego, and we
So I'm
got
guessing
along
this guy was.
famously.
I guess this guy was tearing it up body surfing.
Oh, he was tearing
Yeah.
it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and finally I got to the point where, well, I'm staying out here. I'm staying out here till it's pitch black if I have to. And he's out there surfing, and finally he's gone. And I'm looking around out there, and I'm going, it's finally, like I beat him. I'm on a
I
surfboard,
win.
right? And I turn around, and he is about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile swimming out to this boat that's out, this big sailboat that's out.
Heading the other way.
And I'm going,
He won.
oh, he won big
He
time.
won.
He won big time.
You didn't win.
No, and I surfed with them.
Oh, that's
but
so
that
cool.
one particular time, it was a contest. That kind of, you know how you get into
Yeah,
those
you get
things.
into this stuff with people, and you're
yeah,
both
you
smiling
don't.
and laughing,
Yeah,
but
you
it's
don't. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Okay, so the money runs out.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Well, I come back here.
Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach. I'd stay at. I was real good friends with Richard Hammond, and I stayed at his place, and he lives on 3rd Street. He actually was a real good baseball player in college, and he worked for me in my shop a couple times.
Okay, good friend.
Yeah, and I stayed there and got myself back into the surfboard business, however was best for,
Okay,
to
so
get
you
it done.
pretty much picked it up where you left it off.
Yeah, but
scratch?
except there was only one shop making boards still then, except for the little garage people.
Who was that?
That was Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Yeah.
They were, yeah.
So I was at his beck and call, which he liked that, considering that,
Yeah, yeah.
what went around. So I have pretty much begging for a job.
Yeah. Feinberg.
Billy Feinberg,
Bill
yeah.
Feinberg, yeah. Who I don't think ever surfed, did he?
No, he did surf.
Did he surf?
He did,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
They wound up going to the mountains of Carolina as survivalists or something, didn't they? Some kind
no, they moved up into like Sun Valley or one of those ski places.
Okay, I've got it all wrong.
And then they moved back down here. A friend of mine from Miami, Rick Pike, knows him pretty well because that's where he's from.
Okay.
I met him years ago in Miami.
Yeah, a lot of Miami people came up the coast and,
And stayed.
stayed
Yeah.
here. A
Yeah.
lot.
It's like a lot of Manhattan, Hermosa Beach people moved to Santa Cruz.
Really?
Yeah, in the late 50s, early 60s, yeah.
Escaping the crowds?
I don't know what they were escaping. They wanted to live there, and the waves were good there, and wetsuits were just starting to become...
I was going to say, they're not escaping the cold water.
No, I always thought, to me, I was looking for warmer water. I wasn't looking for colder water, you know. But I had a lot of friends move up there.
Okay, so we're looking, what, 1964, 65?
Well, no, I didn't sell my shop till 68.
Oh, we're way on out there. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been surfing for a while by this time. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. No, you stop. No, do that.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know,
which means my memory of a lot of this should be pretty sharp by now.
Well, see,
A lot
yeah.
of the early stuff I wasn't around for.
But there was a thing that it took 3 years to learn how to surf when I was growing up, okay? 5 years, I could see that. You're 2 years, 20 years behind California. And so that was always my designation point, moving on and surfing. I've been surfing 10 years now. I'm pretty much,
I could do this.
yeah, I'm pretty good at this
I
now.
can do
You know.
this.
So yeah, that I always use that as a jumping off point. The first 3 years really were hard, and I was probably, of all the kids I started with, me and Ricky were the worst. And we're the ones that made a living out of it, so go figure that.
So many people
you know.
fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It took me a year and a half to learn how to go left.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
year and a half!
I just didn't go left
I mean,
for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
And then when, because of Manhattan Beach being a closeout, I got to go left better than I could right because not facing the wave, when the wave broke, I could cut back quicker.
and the telephone will cut it off.
I don't think this is any